Evening stream. Welcome to QMD Dev Sesh. Wade will be joining shortly. Snoot may be around. Max has a weird schedule tonight, but he will probably be on and off. I wanted to quickly show some setup that I do at the beginning of every session that may help people who are doing MetaQuest development if they are not aware of it. And it is, drum roll, a setting in MetaQuest Development Hub. Oh, where did I go? Oh, I'm at the bottom. We'll set up the camera later. So the problem is you're developing away, you're debugging your game. You like lift the quest off your head so you can see something in the debugger, and the device detects that there are no eyes in there anymore and like sort of goes to sleep mode or screen lock mode or something. And depending on how long you have the device off your head, like if you like try and step through code or something and you put your headset down, I mean, it doesn't have to be down, it just has to be off your head for it to start deciding that you're no longer there. So things will happen like the thing's kind of in some sort of a standby mode. And so we're working with Unity, we're working with Normcore. A thing that will happen is like the multiplayer connection will time out while the thing is off my head. With Normcore, that's pretty quick. That's like 30 seconds, which is not a lot of like looking at the call stack in a debugger. And then your session's kind of blown if you're trying to like debug some multiplayer stuff. And then worse than that is you put your headset back on, you go to like, you know, start up another session and go, and I've had the headset like, even after just being at my side for a couple minutes, the headset has gone to sleep, has disconnected from Wi-Fi, has forgotten the Wi-Fi ever existed, has forgotten that it ever linked to my PC, and like may or may not remember everything as I try to get it set back up. Solution is this thing here. So this app that I've launched here is the MetaQuest Developer Hub, MQDH. The bar is pretty low for signing up to be a MetaQuest developer. You just go in, fill out a form, set it up. There are a couple of walkthroughs on how to get your device into developer mode, but more hoops than I would prefer. But once you get access to this software and your device is in developer mode, you can plug it into your PC. AirLink unfortunately doesn't quite work for this, but plug it into your PC. Lots of asterisks for this. Plug it in, and then you get access to this wonderful thing. Proximity sensor enabled, and you can disable the proximity sensor for your dev sesh. There's almost no downside to this. So my headset is now no longer going to go to sleep. So I take it off my face. I just unplugged it, which is why it disappeared from the UI. Oh, there's Wade. Oh, sorry, Max. I was talking to stream.
Hello. Oh, you're good.
I was giving stream a tour of the I forget what it's called already because it's not on my screen. The person detection proximity sensor.
Oh, yeah.
Telling the stream how awesome it is to be able to turn that off. There's one downside, as far as I'm concerned, which is that you know, for these 4 hours that I'm going to be developing, my headset's never going to go to sleep. So it's gonna go through my battery in like 2.5 hours of debugging and also just sort of sitting at my side. There's probably like it's going to increase burn in a little bit for things that are on screen, that sort of stuff. But practically speaking, for me, zero downsides. I've got a little spare battery that I can plug in once the internal battery starts to be low. So our whole dev session tonight, that thing will be on. It won't be disconnecting from the internet. It won't be timing out while I'm debugging code, and it won't be forgetting that my computer exists with the Airlink. Ta-da! Welcome to stream, Max.
Thank you.
So you have in an hour or something, you have to jump on a work meeting? End of day
Yeah,
work
it's about
session?
40 minutes now. I'm going to be at a conference all week next week. So we are getting on to just kind of do like a discussion about that, make sure we're all synced and doing the right meetings and such. So, yeah, staying busy.
It is important to get paid.
Hello.
It's Wade.
What microphone am I using? There we go.
It's a good one. It seems to be working. I forget how to design these so that they look cooler.
I'll be right back. I need my glasses. I thought I left them down here, but I clearly did not. Right back.
Customize. There it is. Let's make us nice and fat. Square heads. Big square heads. Maybe not. How do we look, Max?
Good. Yeah.
All right, what's chat
No
up to?
complaints.
The chat, as usual, is completely silent. Hi, chat.
Okay. Are there people in the chat today?
Not yet. Maybe not ever.
Have you ever heard of multi-board
No.
organization? Look at this.
Are they a new sponsor? I see a swimming pool. That seems fake. Is that real, Wade?
I'm
Wait,
sure
we
it's a
really
real
have
swimming pool, but not there.
No, that's a CG swimming pool.
I'm sure Max has seen stuff like this, but basically you can print like these walls of this this little whatever pattern thing, and then it comes with all these people just make things for it, so you can actually get shelves that will hang like 25 kilogram weights off of it, like it's that strong. And then like you can build little drawers, and they can be longer. Obviously somebody just made it that size, but they connect through the back. And like if you look up multi-board organization, like the stuff that people made on them are pretty incredible. Like even this has got like the little, you can put a tag there with whatever parts you have in this bin. And then this one's got little if it works, little
That would 100% take over my entire house.
Pardon me?
That would take over my entire house.
Well, it's definitely going to take up my storage room, my workshop. But and then like you can print these grids like stacked, so you can stack them on top of each other. The only problem with stacking them is like the quality on the stacked parts is not as good as going straight on the build plate. But at least overnight you can print like 10 or 12 of these, and when you wake up in the morning you've got a nice sized area that you can then mount onto the wall. and then each of these are the 22 or 25 millimeters big. So this, I know it's gonna go flying because I'm like struggling with to take it off, but the how do you get the stupid thing off? There. Yeah. So everyone will play. So these are like the exact dimensions of a pegboard. So you can actually take pegboard clips and put it into the holes if you have them. So you're not like just throwing away other organizational stuff, but then you can keep printing them in. This is one of the main reasons why I got a printer was that, and I wanted them for my CGM. So I bought an entire 3D printer for one piece. But anyway, but big one was organization because my place, I'm currently blurring my background or making it something that's not mine because it's a disaster behind me.
By the way, speaking of fake swimming pools, my building has a real pool. Oh, I showed you this already. But if you wanna come swim, it's like it's so nice.
Yeah, I might do that.
I mean, there's like a highway in the background, but it's actually kind of like relaxing white noise
That's cool.
hanging in the valley over the DVP.
I remember when I was looking for apartments when I first moved back from Hungary. We went to this one place. I think it was now near the DVP, but it was very high up, and the top floor was a pool, and it scared the shit out of me. I mean, it scared the crap out of me. But yeah,
Like indoor pool, eh? This is outdoor.
I think it was indoor outdoor on the roof.
Apparently, those tend to require a lot of maintenance after a few years.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But for renters, that's not as big of a deal.
Yeah, it wouldn't make a difference for me.
Look at all the excitement that's happening on my screen. I'm trying to remember what the heck I was doing. I mean, I know what I was doing, but I don't know exactly where I left it off. Wait, how far did we get with the player indicators? It was like, it was very close, and then it flipped, and then...
Yeah, so we got to, it was switching, but it was switching for everybody.
Right.
But we did figure out why it wasn't working initially.
Yeah, so we were seeing it switch.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it ended up being the events that's where it stopped at, was the events.
I think we tried to fix the logic, and then there ended up being a compile issue, so we didn't finish debugging the logic. Okay, it shouldn't be too far. It does sound like it'll probably require some test assistance. Yeah. But...
Yeah, for sure. And for some reason, I've been charging my headset, and it's just sitting there, not looking like it's charging.
This is the problem with like me only being in here kind of like once a week. Is remember where I left things off.
Oh,
no. Equals true. That makes sense.
Oh, my cat threw up right where everything was, and I didn't realize it till my hand hit it.
Oh,
Cam,
it's the worst.
Fortunately, it was dry.
My worst recent... So, as you know, I haven't had a cat in like a year and a half, but my worst cat puke experience was my cat puked in my slipper while I was sleeping.
Ew.
Oh.
And I got up to go to the bathroom.
Put the slipper on?
Yeah. Put in the slide. Slide on the slider.
Yeah, that's probably worse than... I know mine likes to throw up right next to my bed, where, you swing your feet out and step down, like right there. So I always have to look over the bed before I get out. Little gremlins, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, so I abandoned this. Although there could be useful information here. What I really care about... I wish I like saved the call stack I was looking at when I quit last time. I did not. All right, it's time to build the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the normcore people maybe don't structure their scene changes the way we do usually, or focus on like a single scene,
Right.
or just know how everything works under the hood. But this, there's this like the on real-time model replaced function gets called in like a bunch of different cases. And I wish they pre-sorted those for us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of on real-time model replaced, it'd be like on join a room that some other player has already created. Like on join existing room where the models have data. Instead of me like trying to figure that out,
Yeah.
you know? Or like real-time model replaced because object was destroyed. You know, it literally comes through the same place in that case as well. And also differentiating between level objects and instantiated objects, because this
Yeah.
event happens at different times in the sequence relative to, say, start and awake and real-time connected and stuff like that. It's just like, oh yeah, the order that it happens is different. I feel like it should just be different events. Maybe my job for today will be to try and make a generic handler for this that is that sorts out those cases and raises different events.
That would be helpful.
That would be helpful. I mean, I'm not great with generics. But a type helper utility. Hopefully it's a thing we can figure out once. Yeah, instead of complaining to developers about it, if I have an object that inherits these and like splits those event types, if it's useful, then people will adopt it and they'll incorporate it.
I will incorporate it for sure.
Or just tell me I'm an idiot and I should read the manual.
Or that.
Their manual is hilarious though, because they kind of replaced it with like an AI helper, which reads the manual for you, and it kind of gets to the same place that you got to, but it summarizes it. Anyway, so has progress been made? Kind of. I mean, the last time we played it, it was more stable than it had been in a long time. There are still limitations in terms of, you know, when to launch the room when you're having a multiplayer session and stuff like that. That would be cool to just handle rather than require.
So, in regards to the ball registering as inbounds versus out of bounds, I know we mentioned wanting to check beyond the actual like ball's physical contact points, kind of stretching a little further out.
Yes.
How far do you think is appropriate to check? Are we talking like, twice the size of the bowling ball? So like, if it sits one bowling ball width away from the out of bounds, does it still register? Obviously this will
I
be
was
a
thinking,
variable, but
yeah, I think it relates almost directly to where our fault line is going to be. So I think we could be more generous than that. I think we could say like 1.5 meters, because if it's like 1.5 meters from the course in the bushes, I can still pick it up and bowl it. You know what I mean? And if it lands on top of a barrel, it'll be within 1.5 meters of the ground. If it I think that will handle a lot of things and be very compatible with the. Uh, we haven't talked about it too much, but the fault line gameplay.
Yeah, because like right now we have it. This is considered, so it's just using some arbitrary radius number. This is set to 0.5. The actual radius of the ball, I think, is like 0.1 or like 1 or something like that. So I can extend this pretty far. We might just have to like try it and see.
So
If
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, this will also extend, so if this is sitting up on like a little pebble or something, or ends up like on top of a tombstone, it'll still register as inbounds because it's, within this radius of the ground that's below it. So
Yeah.
the bigger we make this, the more forgiving it will be in terms of inbounds versus out of bounds. I could see something like this. You throw the ball, it ends up like on the altar in the church. If this is too big, it'll still register as inbounds because this radius will like hit the nearest teleport area.
And to me, that's actually right. Say the rule is hypothetically, say the rule is I can pick up my ball when I'm a meter and a half away from it, and then just imagining rules here. If I'm a meter and a half away from it, I can pick it up, but then the position I picked it up from, I can't travel more than a meter and a half before I release. So
Oh,
it
okay.
could be on the altar. You go near the altar, pick it up, and then you take a step and release. You know what I mean? Like you can pick it up from the altar and still play it.
Yeah,
So imagining a lot of rules that we haven't put in yet,
yeah.
right?
Is that
But
like boundary line that you're imagining? Does that stem from where you pick the ball up from, or from where the
that's what
ball
I'm
is at a lie?
see. That's what I'm kind of imagining, right? Because that if it's where you pick the ball up from, that handles. It's sort of like two birds with one stone. It handles all these
Yeah,
cases where you can like pick the ball out of the bushes. You know what I mean?
but
Um,
still have enough room to be able to
to make a
stand
delivery.
where you need to and bowl.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Like
we're
people
not
could
that
people could
picky about it.
people could kind of cheese it, you know what I mean? Like they could like position themselves exactly a meter and a half away from the ball to pick it up and then like take a step and then bowl. So there's kind of like 3 meters of wiggle room for people to
Yeah, and
get out of obstacles.
but honestly, that would be like in Walkabout, if you had the ability to nudge your ball like, a half
They don't
meter one direction or not, which they don't have that ability. So if you're in like a really crappy spot, you're
you
just
just
out of
are.
luck.
Yeah.
Um, so this gives you, the bigger this radius is, it's the more forgiving we are with not only what's considered out of bounds, but also how far you can kind of step away and still be able to make your delivery, which
Yeah.
I think is probably a good thing to be able to have a little bit of that extra wiggle room.
The thing that mini golf doesn't have is ever a run up, right? But
That's
the
true.
but with if we want to have a realistic feeling bowling experience, people are used to taking a couple steps. So anyway, that's I don't want to sway things too far in that direction, but I do kind of like that it kind of handles it's behind a rock or it's you know it's down there in that ditch or it's on the church altar, but
Yeah.
it's still playable. You know what I
But
mean?
like if this falls off of that bridge by the waterfall and like goes down into the water, I don't think this is big enough that we're going to worry about it touching
No,
the
100
bridge.
percent, 100%, right?
And then the other part, which I haven't done yet, is going to be putting in invisible kind of like out of bounds areas that kind of
Just
override
triggers.
this
Yeah,
entirely.
yeah,
Um, so if, let's say, if it did fall into the water and this radius was big enough to touch the underside of the bridge, we could just put a block under the bridge and say, like, I don't care how close you are. If you're within this, like, out of bounds block, override everything, say you're out of bounds.
Yeah,
And, like,
or because and we could have hazards too that are like destructive, like
yeah,
the
yeah. If
lightning
it
bolt field or something.
Yeah, if
Like,
it lands on like a little patch of lava, I
yeah,
don't care if you're 6 inches away from the boundary line.
yeah.
It doesn't count because you're on lava. So it
Don't step in
just
the
like,
lava.
yeah. Yeah, I like that because
Next
then that
level.
gives us a lot of control over those out of bounds areas. This handles 95% of those cases. But then if we find that edge case where it's like, oh, it fell off the ledge, but it still thinks it's in bounds because it's close enough to touch this, but it's still clearly out of bounds, you just put one of those blocks in and say, okay, we're good. It'll
All we
handle
need
this
is
now.
we just need a cool name for the object. The out of bounder. Don't know. Cooler
The
name.
blocker.
Ooh.
We'll come up with something.
The edge caseinator. Yeah, the fewer edge cases we're needing to handle, the better. IMO. Oh no, my water ran out. Okay. Right back, guys. Diff my code for me.
Yeah, if only.
Andrew, when your headset bricked, did it get stuck with the red light? Like it wouldn't charge?
I feel like there was no light.
Okay.
Like it was totally unresponsive to any charging device.
Well, I'm concerned now.
You plug it in and nothing happened?
It's just stuck on the red light.
Well, I wasn't even getting a red light. Like, red light I think means charging.
It's been like this for a while now. Oh, all right. Let's let it keep charging.
I haven't verified this 100%. In Meta's defense, I don't think they ever actually recharged me for the refurbished device.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think maybe when they got it, they were like, oh yeah, we should have recalled this. Because it was around the time where they had that big recall.
Oh,
And my
okay.
serial number happened not to, they were like, no, that's not one of the serial numbers. But I have a feeling once they got it, they were like, yeah, this is on us. Nothing official was said on that, and I haven't fully confirmed that, but I think that's what happened. Okay, I have to debug this thing. Which means I probably should have set up AirLink. Oops, what did I do? Launch. I do like their new loading screen better than the old one. And we're in. Did I show you guys my Hello Kitty streaming setup?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty great.
Did you show me? Hold on.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if Wade was around when you
I don't know if I showed
showed.
stream. Where would I have showed that? Do I have that handy still? My stepdaughter, I sent her, it's all on my phone, of course, which is not that useful. I sent her this like Hello Kitty streaming setup, and was joking that my birthday was coming up. And then she got me like a kitty cat mouse pad and like cloud handrest and like for keyboard and mouse pad. It's pretty bomb.
Is it actually comfortable?
It really is actually. It's probably like, I feel like it's AliExpress or Timu or Temu or however you pronounce this. Like it's probably made from like depleted uranium or something. But it's quite comfortable.
Hey, if you're going out, might as well let it be the Hello Kitty mouse pad, right?
Exactly right. Something's gonna get you.
Okay.
What's happening, gang? The domain is getting completed. Speaking of things totally unrelated to volleyball, well, maybe somewhat related to volleyball. Kickflips are finally starting to come, people.
What are?
I landed like kickflips.
Oh, nice.
I landed like three kickflips today,
Very
and I was
nice.
like on the board a few more times with my like, big toe drag or like early step out or something like that. But starting to be close.
Quick question. Maybe directed towards Wade, but um, when we're moving from one like lane to the next, and you destroy the previous balls,
Yeah.
you're just kind of instantiating the new ball in the ball return, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if in that instance, when the ball, I'm trying to decide if I want to put it in on enable or on awake, but like essentially when it gets created, I want to set the first like recorded location to be there.
Okay.
That way, if you pick the ball up and just like chuck it out of bounds, it will respawn back at that location.
Right.
Do you think it's fair to just say like on awake,
Yeah,
record that position?
I think so.
Okay. That's what makes sense to me. I just wanted to make sure that tracked.
Um, it makes sense to me. I trying to think if there's like any case where
There's
Because if we're in and you
I'm
spawn a
trying to
ball,
remember
as opposed to doing it like
when
the
the
kind of
balls
default way, if
knows
you go in and you like spawn one.
the spawning one. I forget because it's not using just Unity instantiate. It's using real time instantiate, and like its sequence of like the order of operations can be a little bit weird in terms of like when the real time transform properly knows about everything, or like when the model is properly instantiated. You might want to do it.
I could also set up.
You might want to literally set it when you're creating it, like the way we do the
Yeah, I
which
can set up
custom
a
ball it
function
is.
that's just like
What
set set location, and then when the ball is being instantiated on that end, also just
yeah.
call set location.
So the real time instantiate takes a position, right? And then eventually it's going to handle all the real time transform stuff. But the thing that it might not fit in the right place on awake when you go to read it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's worth a try.
Yeah.
It's worth a try. But there's that weird thing where like things kind of went through the origin before like real time
Yeah,
transform
and
knew where they were.
now that
But you
I'm
could
using kind of that like larger trigger collider, that might just handle the instance where you instantiate the ball, it rolls out of the the ball return. If that area is large enough, it'll think it's touching a nearby trigger area and count as inbounds. I don't know if it manually sets because it relies on once the ball stops after an attempt, that's when it saves its location where the ball like lies. I'm not sure when you instantiate the ball and it rolls out of the ball return, I'm not sure if it actually calls that ball stopped like function.
maybe
I
not
wouldn't imagine it does, which is why I was trying to figure out like, okay, maybe just set that location to where it instantiated.
on
Um,
spawn as well. You know what? I
yeah,
would try it on awake. Try it on awake and see if it gets the number you expect.
yeah.
Um, but
This
but
is
the other
also a
the
kind of
the
odd edge case. Like it's, I guess no. If your first attempt goes out of bounds, it has to go back somewhere. And right now, I think that is set to 000, the closest to null as you can set a vector 3.
yeah.
Um, so it would probably just teleport to the origin, which I don't think I've actually tested ball spawn immediately throwing it. So I can test that and see what happens, but let's see.
Unfortunately, it needs to be poked at and played with. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. I wonder how I can get this to run on the screen I want it to run on. It's gonna want to run on screen 1. Any ideas?
What was
My
the
Windows
question?
build
Sorry.
running on my Windows build of Bully Ball running on the wrong screen.
Oh, if you go in, oh, the Windows build.
It's on top of Discord.
When it runs, can you just like drag and drop it to the right screen, or is it entering in full screen mode?
It's going in full screen.
Hmm.
I guess I could change the screen I'm sharing. But then then people can't see me the editor view when I go to editor view. Oh well. Take my word for it, stream. I'll tell you what I see. So I'm in the lobby. I have one controller working. That's fine. Two controllers working. I'm entering code 1111. Joining game. Now, I got my player number and the game started. And now I'm going to Western. And now I'm going to park here. I'm floating text. That's not good. Well, that's an issue. But I don't have a good debug of that. So let's see what happens. Player 2 joins the same room. Science. All right, so player 2. Is not the build.
Andrew, for your testing with 2 players and the one that's the Windows build, did you actually create a Windows build? Like you switched over to the Windows platform, created a build,
Yeah.
and then switched back over to Android and ran the Android as well?
No, I just, so one is I run volleyball.exe on my desktop.
Yeah.
And one is I just press play in the Unity editor.
Okay.
Right.
And so you're not using the Quest version, the Android version. But are you
No.
when you press run on the keyboard on the computer,
I don't think it matters too much. I don't think it matters too much, honestly.
Okay.
But it's more convenient if everything's just sitting in Windows mode, right?
Right.
Having said that, this is important. When I do my Windows build, if you look on my screen, this session prefab, I open up the session prefab, and I add this thing here, debug append to UI. I put something in here
Okay.
for the Windows build, so that like the device ID is going to be the same, right? We're both, if I'm running the Windows build and I'm running it in the editor, the device ID is going to be the same. That messes up all the player number stuff. So you have to put like something in here, which is so that in order to differentiate between the two.
Okay. And what is that sitting on again? What object?
Do you see my screen?
The session object? Yeah, I see your screen, but I see everybody's head is over the left-hand side.
It's on the right-hand side. Oh.
No, I know, but
okay,
I don't know what object is
bottom.
selected in the left-hand side.
So I zoomed into the session,
session,
which is like the first thing in the lobby. But if you only change it in the lobby, it's going to be a problem when you switch levels, right? So you have to change it in the prefab.
Or any level
change it in the prefab.
Oh,
so
I see.
I open the prefab, add anything to this append field, do my Windows build, and then clear it out for when I'm debugging local.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. Gotcha.
I got to drop for my other meeting, but I will be back when I'm done.
You were here for all the excitement, though.
Woo! Okay. See y'all soon.
See you
soon.
Yeah, if we end up doing this a lot, Wade, I'll try and figure out something better for this. Like, automatically stick something on it for if you're running from editor.
I wonder if there's got to be like some easy thing to do that's built in so that you could test 2 players. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, the part of this is I did it to myself, where like, we identify unique players by machine ID. So that has advantages. You can reconnect your same session easily, but the disadvantage is it's hard to test multiplayer on a single machine.
Right. Open asset in isolation is opening from the actual folder, right? Not from the scene.
No idea.
Okay.
Open in isolation.
Well, there's open because I was right clicking on session and saying open. There's open in context and open.
I think
in
isolation is what you want.
Okay. I thought so too, but
I mean, I usually click
let's see.
on the open button in the inspector,
Right.
which I think opens it in our solution. I don't know. Guess we remove Max for now. All right, where was I? Debug this honking thing.
That's crazy about that. What Microsoft did with all those
I
developers,
didn't drill into that yet, but it's like it's not that surprising.
It's not surprising, but it's like
Shocking still.
I think the most surprising was what that guy said, which was like, "Hey,
Oh yeah.
you if you're having trouble navigating your emotions
Hey,
or
hey.
feelings, and you want to, yeah, use AI." I mean, I don't actually think it's a bad idea
you know,
if I was like out of work, but I think the point at which he said it
at
and all
least he
this
like
is
recognizes that people are traumatizing. Player one.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so that's definitely there.
Oh, where's my? There I am. Hey, buddy. You are player 0, eh? And I'm player 1. Like, that kind of makes sense in theory. You say you're floating text. Huh. Alright, time to look at the debugger and see how close we got. Are you getting any of my game audio or echo in stream?
I'm not hearing anything right now,
Okay, good.
and now I don't hear you at all.
If it becomes relevant, I may... Oh, check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 3.
I can hear you now. Yep. I don't hear your game audio, but I hear you saying check 1, 2.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I deliberately did not pipe the game audio through. It's a little bit crazy debugging on your own machine. You have 2 listeners and 2 mics, right? So you pop into your
Right,
multiplayer
yeah.
test, and your like head is talking back at you with like a 20 millisecond delay. No, more than that. It's got to be more than that. Maybe 40 millisecond. It's enough to throw you off. It doesn't just sound like a doubling effect.
Yep.
Okay. What did we get? I'm running single player setup. That makes sense. And then a bunch of stuff happened. Then we connected to lobby. We have an ID. Why did it push my session players? Because we were in single player mode before? Running single player setup. I forget what that does. Oh, why is this so hard? I think I might have to draw this for myself. Is that allowed, Wade?
Nope.
Damn it.
Oh, did you say
Yeah.
allowed? Oh, I thought you said, is that loud?
Good.
Oh my god, it's taking forever to
Those
build.
things are good. All right. How's my memory? 100% CPU. Might not be the best time to try and draw something. I know, I'll draw it on paper. So sadly, the stream will not see these notes. But I think my computer will thank me for it, especially in this heat wave.
Is it hot?
Well, yeah, I don't have air conditioning, so it's 26 degrees in here. The fan is off so that it's not creating too much background noise for the stream. Okay, so offline, single player setup. So what data did it end up with after single player setup?
I'm still waiting for this thing to finish building. It's taking forever.
Yeah, if it's your first time building for Windows, it's like probably rebuilding everything. Like maybe even the light maps are being built in a slightly different format because it compresses them differently on the different platforms.
Actually, I can see it's doing the light mask. So while the URP is brutal.
So yeah, but the good news is the next time you do it, all that stuff will be cached in that folder. It only rebuilds what it needs to. Okay, so what did my single player setup do?
I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna grab a glass of water.
If I can remember where this lives. No, I think I put it on the real-time player. Session players, yes. I think I'm gonna do what Wade's doing, and everyone grab water.
Potassium citrate, stevia.
course, I was muted. And we have to do a compilation of our water breaks at some point. Greatest hits. Okay. What was I looking at? Single player setup. Session players is new. So we create an empty array of session players. Put my player number equals 1. That seems reasonable. The only thing is... Okay, then what happens? So then weirdly, we're waiting for real time to connect. So the coroutine still happens, I guess. What kicked off the single player setup? Oh, okay. So this coroutine kicked that off. So the thing this should have done is, if we're doing single player setup, we should break instead of continuing, I think. You never want to do the rest of that stuff. Okay, I think that makes enough sense that I want to retest with that. Forgive me for just talking out loud as I do things. Wait.
That's good. I'm waiting for this thing to
I've had a
finish building.
I think
so.
I had a cat for too long. No, I can't think without speaking. Thanks, stream, for being my surrogate cat. And you too, Wade.
No problem.
Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. I'm feeling your pain, Wade. I'm doing another Windows build, and I'm trying to remember to append to the UI. Why do I say append to
I'm
the
sure
UI?
it's because I'm doing the original build.
First Windows build in a while?
Like the original build. Yeah, the first time I'm building. The original build. First build ever.
New light maps.
Yeah.
Okay, here I go. I'm with you. I'll race you. Oh, also, I unselected a lot of scenes that I don't happen to want to debug right now.
Hold on a second. Jen, the cat's gonna knock something over. I can hear it upstairs. All right. Sorry.
Cat cam.
I'm gonna put a night vision Raspberry Pi camera server upstairs, and so like at nighttime, whenever I hear something, I can just switch to the night cam and see if the cat's about to destroy something or not.
You need Wade.
What's
You
that?
need
I
nods.
do. I need nods.
You know what? You know what I realized the
I
other
need
day?
nods, and I was gonna say the Nerf.
Oh yeah, the cat nerfer.
What's that?
The IRL cat nerfer. So
But that actually be a bad idea. I don't think he needs catnip.
it's just an excuse to shoot your cat with Nerf, which normally would be evil, but if you're actually shooting catnip discs around, then it's somehow acceptable, right?
Yeah, because he's getting something out of it.
So, speaking of shooting things with toy guns, I was watching another one of these monetizing microtransaction videos. And for the record, stream/chat, we're against it. But Wade and I are both like free-to-play game players who have felt the tug of Dolphin Dumb and Whaledom a little bit. In retrospect, I realize that airsoft is also is one of those things where like people get sucked in and are like and into like just buying all the gear and like play to win stuff. Because
Airsoft?
remember I was saying like people actually have like people actually get the night vision goggles for airsoft, right?
Yeah.
And that's whale spending, because those things are like price of a used car. I mean, you know, car prices have gone crazy, but like
Back in the day, $5,000 kind of
tens
thing.
of grand.
Tens of grand?
No, like more than $10,000.
Holy shit.
I don't know if it's tens, but it's like more than that. I mean, it might have come down, you know, like it used to be only like only the U.S. military had them, right? But then there started to be like all the militaries have them now, which is crazy because you know the SEALs are no longer invisible. U.S. Navy SEALs are no longer invisible. In fact, they'd be running around with like IFF stuff that shows up in the nods. So it's like their team could identify their team really easily. But it's like, oh no, you don't want to be shining that stuff around anymore because everyone has these
Everyone's got nods.
knockoff devices. Yeah, it would be great because they'd have like, those laser pointer, like, not red dots. Were they red dots?
Yeah.
The red dots, right? Except they were only visible in IR. So they could be running around shining lights on things like that guy over there. I'm going to shoot him on the head where that little, green dot is that only shows up in nods.
In nods.
Anyway, yeah, you need nods. So you can just like put your nods on and see what the cat's up to without turning on any lights.
I'll make DIY nods so it doesn't cost me a fortune.
I don't know how they work, but they're like I think they like the tubes contain a certain type of like compressed gas, so they're like kind of fragile and kind of difficult to make. I don't even know. I don't know enough about it, but yeah, I think that's the solution to your cat problem.
Yeah.
Did this build finish? Build succeeded. Yeah, I got distracted.
Still going. What the hell?
I win, Wade.
Is it antivirus?
I think it's just building everything in the Windows format, right?
Yeah. And I haven't done it in a while, so.
Okay, stream excitement time. Let me be your eyes. I'm going into. My controllers have fallen asleep. So in the Windows build on screen 2, I'm going into room quadruple 2. I have successfully gotten my player number. I'm player number 1, and I'm going to Western. Oh, it looks like I got a player number. Kind of claims I'm floating text though, which is discouraging. Why would I have floating text and yet it claims it's time to start playing? Curious. We'll never know because I'm not going to look at the debug log for that. Meanwhile, time to debug the game. That's a cool theme. It's almost the same chord progression as House of the Rising Sun.
What, the volleyball theme?
The Western
Oh.
theme. You can almost sing it to it.
I have to leave in 9 minutes. And I'm
Agreed.
still waiting for the stupid thing to compile. Compiling shader variants. That is what it's going. Jeez.
How many levels did you build? How many scenes did you build?
Well, that's a good question. I guess I only needed to build Western, and I didn't even think of that.
I mean, I build a few, but I don't build them all.
I mean, I just left it at whatever.
And they might all be flagged. Did I
Damn
do
it!
the
I
level?
should have just set it to Western and
Yes, I did.
the lobby.
Okay, oh, where's my debug? There it is. And debug. Player number is 1. Okay, so let's join this and get player number 2. Come on, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Get player number 2. I have player 0. I have player 1.
Am I so
Game is
tired all of
broken.
a sudden?
Broken by me. So interestingly, player 1, I mean player 0, does player 0 have a ball? How broken is this?
I'm gonna fall asleep
So,
in the
in case
hair
you're
cutter
wondering,
chair.
I switch to the other player. No, I don't have a ball. Yeah, I broke the game. Because I'm flow text. That dude's player 1. Nobody has a ball. Game is in shambles. I broke everything, Wade. Just so you know.
Perfect. Ship it.
Ship it! Oh man. Stream, if you were hearing what you would be thanking me for not sharing that audio. It's a great theme,
Would
but
you?
somehow I ended up having it coming from both sources at the same time when I alt tabbed between like the editor session and the Windows. Plus I had my voice echoing back to me ad infinity. All right, let's scrub this console log. The stream may be wondering why I'm not just stepping through with the debugger. my laughter may may be a hint. Debugger experience is not very satisfying. It just sort of like inconsistently wants to connect to Unity. Sometimes we need to use it, but often we're just dumping a bunch of things to the
Oh,
old
so
school debugging.
I'm building City Riot, Spooky, Western New, and Spooky 1_25. So one seemed too many for sure.
I mean, both spookies are still on the menu.
What's Spooky 1_25? That's the newer one?
That's the new one, yeah.
Okay.
There's like in my like list of things to build, like spooky-old is still in there. Like classic spooky is scene swag spooky. But like there's a there's an old version of there's just a bunch of stuff kicking around that you don't need to build.
It just finished. Hallelujah.
Yes. So if you're debugging multiplayer, don't forget to for your
Turn off.
editor clear out that append to user ID.
Okay, remove that.
And in the prefab, so it does it for all levels.
Right. I did it in the prefab, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna
It should
run
be gold. It should be gold.
and I gotta leave in 4 minutes.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be playing solo for a bit, I think.
But I will jump back on if you're still around when I come back. What's this? Shader particle standard pass. Procedural alpha multiply not found. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I don't know. I'm serious.
Can you crouch in this? I can't get through the doorway to enter a code.
Oh, you're using keyboard mode?
Yeah.
No, you can run it in your headset still.
This?
But yeah. Windows mode should run on your headset.
But what about the second version, the desktop version?
Desktop version should run on your headset.
And so how do I run two at the same time in my headset?
You just alt tab, man.
So,
yeah, throw your headset on, double click
Yeah.
volleyball.exe,
yeah.
and then you like join a room, join a level, do whatever you need to do, right?
Yeah.
And then click play in the editor, and
Yeah.
it'll take over the headset.
Oh.
And then you can alt tab back and forth if you need to.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Or just like click on click on whichever session you need to see, and it'll take over your monitor. It's kind of magic.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Except when you're like hearing multi versions of the same soundtrack and like getting hearing your own voice echoing back to you. Having said that, so I have in keyboard mode, I have managed to like enter room codes through the doorway, but it's its own whole mini game. Like trying to hit the number pad from the doorway, or like the erase button.
That's funny.
It's not easy.
Okay, I'm gonna give this a shot, and then I gotta bolt. Well, what just happened? That was weird.
It doesn't sound good.
No, it's fine now. My whole screen went blank. Anyway, one second.
One of the things that I mean, I enjoy this streaming format, but streaming in Chrome is not super lightweight. Like Chrome's using like more than 20% of my CPU, and like close to 600 megs from time to time. I love how lightweight Visual Studio is. In terms of, well, it's very good at paging though. Okay, single player setup makes sense. We no longer have it waiting for real time. That's good. Interesting. But it is, even though we're not online, it is still hitting real-time model triggers. Or let's see, what time is this? '53. Is this? Well, this might be when I joined the lobby. This is when I joined the lobby.
Oh, this is working. Okay, there is something weird going on.
You look awesome, Wade. I wish you could share. We need Wade to share his screen. Something weird is definitely going on. You got that for sure. This is my next music video.
Oh, no, it's not. This is so cool, though.
Wish I could see what he's seeing. You looked really good there, Wade. I full screened you. I wish I had your screen share though.
Okay, that is really cool.
You know what's even cooler?
What?
Watching you try and check your floating text on stream. I full screened you.
That's hilarious. It like, so it's weird because the first person starts, their color is gold. Then I join the game and the other person is gold and I'm gray. And when I flip back and forth, I'm gold or gray. Like it doesn't change.
Mm.
Then I go into the Western and I'm gray. And then I go into the Western as the other person and me as player 2 can see player 1 gold. But if I flip over to player 1, I'm gray. I'm not gold. So we're
Who
both seeing.
entered first?
What's that? Player 1 entered first.
Player 1 entered first.
I definitely don't have time to ponder about it right now because I think it's at 7. I just want to let me just make sure with Jen. But this is definitely very helpful being able to debug like this now.
I mean, as it's not ideal, but it removes
does the
some.
job.
Yeah, it takes it from like impossible to know to like possible to kind of like debug some multiplayer stuff on your own.
Yeah. And even like I think yes. I was gonna say something else, but yes, it is definitely definitely helpful.
There is a anyway, I should let you go. I'll finish the thought for stream. There is a tool supposedly that lets you do the same thing right in the editor. I don't know how it does it. It might spin up kind of like 2 instances of an editor session to allow for multiplayer testing, but I have not played with it. Apparently, though, pardon me, apparently it's a thing that exists.
Actually, it's 10 minutes there. Let me just check with Jen. I should have 10 minutes. Let me see.
You need to be able to find your hotkeys though and stuff. I don't think it's a 10-minute problem. I'm ready to be proven wrong, but okay. Why is this? Why is it toggling game rules? I feel like this is not right. I think this is supposed to be waiting for...
Yep.
No, it is waiting for client ID 0.
Andrew, when I come back, I'm gonna have short hair.
No, wait. Really?
Yep.
Did they also take away your Megadeth shirt? They give you a K-pop Demon Hunters t-shirt,
Yeah.
which
I'm
is a great show, by the way.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, on Netflix. It's just like a 90-minute movie, but it's like it's kind of like sort of like a Disney musical, but K-pop Demon
K-pop.
Hunters. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know who's in it?
Not really.
That guy, Ken Young.
I don't know who that is.
He's in The Hangover. And he's in
Oh yeah. I
he's
know.
hilarious.
He does stand up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like his whatever he's
Interesting.
in.
Yeah, I didn't figure that out.
He's in Community. I'm assuming he plays a Bobby. Okay, whoever Bobby is in the show.
I wish, man, I've only seen it like 2.5 times. I should know who Bobby is.
Oh, and
Oh,
Daniel Day Kim is in it.
But it's like a musical
Yeah.
slash action comedy. Very good. The songs are all like S tier, and the action sequence, like yeah, very good.
Did you ever watch Lost?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
How did that was it went for like 5 seasons or something, right?
Yeah. It was okay until like the second last season. Jen liked it. I was
disappointing.
I don't know. To me, it felt kind of like they didn't know what they were doing at the end. Like they didn't plan the end, and they just kind of, let's do this.
It's creating an awesome mystery, but then we don't have a good reveal planned.
But
Did you ever watch Attack on Titan anime?
I did. First 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah,
How many seasons does?
it has a lot of seasons. The reveal for that, when they reveal the mystery,
Mhm.
was actually very satisfying.
Was it?
Yeah.
When did they reveal
like-
that?
Um,
Don't tell
when-
me
like
because I
when-
kind of want to watch it again.
when they like it's the world is like really isolated and kind of like it feels like there's this one last bastion of humanity surrounded by titans and everything is doomed.
Mm.
And then they and that and I kind of had the idea that that was the whole world.
Oh, okay.
Did you get to the point where like the rest of the world was revealed and the place of that community? Yeah. So that was one reveal, and it's like, oh my gosh, everything fit together so well in terms of like it wasn't just like, oh, we'll create this mystery and we'll create this cool, like it wasn't just a pretty corner that they world built for 2 seasons. There's the rest of the world too, and a history, and it was very satisfying.
Nice.
That's another one of those. Yeah, go do your thing.
Yeah, I gotta go do my thing. But yeah, tell me about it when I get back. But don't tell me anything because I feel like I got to where it was like closing in to this. They're all going to the center of the city, and somebody died. It's been a while since I watched it, but I don't know any of these reveals. So I want to. Now that you said that and that it was really good, I'm gonna watch it.
Well,
There
I
are a
mean,
lot of seasons, right?
There are a lot of seasons, and they kind of get progressively more depressing, though. Like I was really impressed with the world building and like the reveals. It's like they weren't just making it up as they went along. You know what I
There's
mean?
a plan.
Yeah, there was a plan. and it was very satisfying.
Cool. I'm gonna check
in
it out.
some ways.
All right, I'll be back. If you're still around, I will talk to you when I
We
get
shall
back.
see what kind of stamina I have, how much progress I make.
Otherwise, I at least have this way of doing it
Okay.
that you've shown me, and I will try it myself. Cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.
I'll see you soon. Bye.
Pew. There's a hide blade. And he dropped. Okay, streams, just you and me now. Dare I turn my fan back on? Okay. So this is interesting. Toggle use game rules. Start game. They started game before there was a player? That could be problematic. Anyway, connected to lobby. So this is right. 2 seconds later, connected to lobby. Okay, raise down. Cannot do this on screen. My computer is dying. Maybe I can figure out a way to get a tablet on as another session or another camera on this thing. But as you can see, too much CPU being gobbled and too much memory for me to be like drawing this out in real time for y'all. So player, so this is actually player 2 joins empty lobby. Because player 1 is already in level. And then because we get push my session to server because the server list is currently empty, I think. Let's verify that. Yeah, so the model doesn't have any session players. So my session players is the source of truth. My session players at this point is empty. Does that cause any problems? And then I find What the heck? Found next available. Okay, so we don't have an existing player number at the server. We didn't push an existing player number. We found the next available player number, which is 1. Then we added my session player number. Good, good. Start game happens. I forget where this even comes from. It's a distraction. Ignore it. Focus on player number management. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. And then I bet this 36 seconds later is launching a new level. So stuff still happens in the lobby during launch. Like, look at all this good stuff. Max would bump me if he logged back in, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, it is. Speak of the Max. Hello. Wait, I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Why can't I hear Max? Audio. Voice chat. Max, Max, Max. He held up a finger as though to say, I'll be right back. So this is interesting. So disconnected from lobby, but then we're still getting events. I hear noise.
This should be better now.
That is better.
Okay. My microphone disappeared because I had to unplug my headphones to put them on my work one, but all good now.
Guys, we're all ready for the conference?
Yep, as ready as we're ever gonna be. So.
You missed some, like, streaming gold.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was just like, Weird was like, oh, this thing finally launched. I gotta check it out. He finally got set up the running a Windows build and editor on the same machine thing.
Oh, nice.
Like he was yeah, it's actually cool that you can do it, right? Because it makes debugging some multiplayer stuff possible for someone working on their own. Yeah, it's kludgy, but it happens.
Yeah, if it works, it works.
Like, yeah, doing the Windows build took a long time for him. He was just sitting there going like, when is this gonna finish? Because I think the textures, or not the textures, the light maps, well, I guess those are textures. The light maps are in a different format for Windows. So it was just like rebuilding a million things for the first time Windows
First
build.
time you do it is always going to take the longest.
Anyway, when he got in, it was gold, man. It was just gold. Because he was in VR. And of course I soloed him. In VR, like debugging the floating text. So a lot of this. and then like Alt Tab, go to a new level like this. It was great.
That's great.
It's highlight reel for sure. And do the and like we need to just like get some cats chasing laser pointers, and then like intercut them with Wade checking the like loading text.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And he wasn't sharing his screen, so that was the only video we had. It's like no context.
Just of him.
Yep.
Okay, and I was just about to test out the new logic for checking inbounds stuff.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Gotta see if my headset's connecting first.
Oh, gotta check. Remind me to check my battery. I guess I can do that now.
There we go.
Nerd meeting. Battery's maybe 50%. I don't like that. The like Link OS, whatever they call it. They have a name for that.
Oh, the meta link. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it's called.
It has its own whole kind of environment, right? I don't like that it doesn't give you the percent of the battery. It's like you have an icon.
Yep, you just kind of have to guess.
Okay, connected to room. This I'm ignoring for now. More or less.
Oh, and I don't know when or why, but I can hear the audio a lot better now.
Great.
Like
Random
the radio
in
the lobby is like nice and clear now. So
darn it. Random inconsistent repo.
okay, so I'll try this. So it definitely teleported somewhere, but not back to the right spot. Let's try this again.
How do you spell current media designs?
I was going to
should
say
know this.
spelled it exactly the same as you would spell it in English, but the C
With a
is a
Q?
Q. Yeah.
Is it? It's designs, right?
QU.
Not design.
Current media design. I think so.
I feel like I should know the name of the company by now, but apparently not. Why do I have you full screen?
What's that?
I mean, I have you full screen for some reason.
Oh.
This is internet gold again. I like that. So you do have a screen share though. Let's pop that up. Guess we don't need
So
mine
it
right
looks like it is returning somewhere, but not where it's supposed to.
now. Oh yeah.
So like I'll share this until I get into it, but join game. Go to Western. And if I switch this over to scene view, I think the ball will spawn.
Apparently QMD means something else as well. I texted someone that like QMD is live, and they're like, there was some confusion. Apparently QMD means something completely different in a different context. They totally thought this was another chat. Now we gotta Google it, right, Max? No, probably don't Google it, kids.
Okay. Let's see where's
From the tone of this text.
Okay, so if I pause it right when that ball respawns, it looks like it's spawning here.
That makes sense. Does its position?
I mean, you can
Is it
see where it teleported from.
Did you give it a global position? Oh, you're teleporting it? I thought you were
Yeah.
replacing it.
No, I'm just doing a straight up teleport. Partially
I
because this
don't know
allows me to
how.
track where it comes from with this line.
Right.
I can do it the other way, but there is more of a performance overhead to delete and then respawn it than it is to just move it.
Oh,
Most of the time, it's not that noticeable because it's going where it's supposed to go. Um, but this looks like it goes to. Not quite sure where this is. If I were to move this. Oh, well, I can't because it's paused. That makes sense. Yeah, it looks like it's going back to 000, which makes sense.
weird. Did it get stamped with that at some point when it was getting created?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. Oh, maybe
Hmm.
I should be sharing my whole screen one. Here we go. So I can jump back and forth. But yeah, because right now, this is not the cleanest way to do it. But I was just saying, like, well, this is the weirdest part. On awake, if its last stop location, which theoretically should be nothing, it's not assigned to anything. If that is not 000, set it to its current position. Otherwise, set it to 000. But what must be happening is it's saying, I guess I can put some console logs in here. My guess is it's hitting this else and it's setting it to its origin. Um,
Last stop location not equals blank. That logic just seems backwards.
yeah, and that's why I was like, it. The goal was to see originally if it spawned, if it was spawning at 000,
Which it
then
should never spawn at 0.
yeah, well, and that's kind of why.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Honestly, maybe it's better to just do this and remove these.
Yeah.
Forgot this isn't JavaScript. I can't do it that way. Ball spawn setting 2. Okay. We're going to try that and see if that just fixes it. I think I was just getting too complicated from the get-go when I did not need to do that.
Whee!
Oh, didn't throw it far enough. There we go. So now it should spawn back here. Nope.
So what did the log have to say about the awake position?
Oh, you know. So the ball stopped moving out of bounds.
Yeah.
It saves that location, even if it's
Okay.
out of bounds.
Okay.
Ball was out of bounds. Reset happened. Player 1, frame 1. Yeah, ball is out of bounds. Hasn't hit course yet, which is correct. But then it just stops. So I think what's happening... Although I do want to go back and see.
So be careful because there are a few like dummy balls in the level 2 that might be getting that.
I removed those, I believe. So I could do
Okay,
these
okay.
testings without that issue.
So that guy isn't getting it? That's probably the lobby ball, right?
Oh yeah, this is probably the lobby ball. Let me
This
see.
is that third one. I think that third one is maybe what I was worried about, which is that awake for
Yeah,
awake
lobby.
for awake when you're instantiating prefabs, when you're instantiating uh, real-time prefabs. Awake, they
Starts
don't
at
have the position
the
yet.
origin,
Yeah,
moves into that location.
but I mean, it just happens later on, right? Like because it's all integrated with the real-time transform stuff.
Yeah.
Like which it works well. Asterisks, um, your local where you're expecting to know things about your object. Um, it's we just don't have it yet here on Awake, right? Let me see if you put it on. I'm curious about what happens if you stick it in start. I think it's worth a try to see if on start it's just available. Um, just put the same code there and see if you get a different result. Otherwise, um, otherwise I think we may want to hook into like the spawn call to write that data. because our log is so cluttered, I've started putting in like the object name
Oh.
and the function name. So it's like, where's this event even coming from?
Yeah.
No, you don't need to. I was just sort of talking out loud. With one of the things I was finding too is debugging the real time stuff. It's like it's sometimes it wasn't even clear what level the thing belonged to.
Yeah. Well, and that's like in this one, I went back and I saw 3 of them, and that's because
Yeah,
the ball spawned when I joined, the ball spawned
lobby,
when I joined the lobby multiplayer, and then when I joined
then
Western.
yeah.
Which now that I know is really easy to see that and like know what's
Yeah.
going on, but before that,
But that was boggling my mind when I was getting a bunch of extra model replace events when switching scenes, and some of them were coming from models being torn down in the old scene. I was like, what?
41. Why do I not have line numbers?
Oh no. No.
Oh, it's definitely there. Oops.
There's a there's absolutely like a key combination that hides line numbers.
Great. Love to
Right?
love that.
It's time to just retire, I think. Like at some point it's just like enough is enough. Speaking of cat cam, did I tell you about the day I like was trying to work from home on my laptop and like my cat put her paw on my keyboard and the screen shifted to like portrait mode
Oh, and you're like, how do
on
I
my
even?
laptop? I didn't even know you could do that by like touching the keyboard. The freaking cat did it. And I'm like trying to Google how to undo it, like turning my head sideways. It was so hard. Like moving a mouse around when like the screen is sideways. Bad.
There we
Kitty.
go. That worked.
Max, what happened? That's is it that easy?
Yeah, I just put it in on start instead. So now when it goes out of bounds and it stops, the next turn starts.
So, and that's like so sorry Normcore, you do a lot of wonderful things for us, but that is just so not intuitive. That like nope, the position you spawn this object at is not the position it has when it's awake. Sorry. And not only that, but if you had you will get different results if you also like just have this ball in your level. Like if the prefab and the like in level version will just behave differently in their initialization sequence. Mhm. Do I complain too much, Max? In your expert opinion?
No,
Just
I
the
think
right
it's
amount?
about right.
Okay, good, good.
Cool. So
I had a good day. I landed some kick flips. I had some good ice cream. Nothing blew up at work. Uh, am I making a lot of progress on the game? Not that much, but
haha, there we go.
no way.
Okay, let's go and try it in the caves down here.
Oh my gosh. This makes this level so much more playable instantly.
Oh no, my throw was so bad. Oh
That was
no.
so bad.
Oh, I dropped it.
You don't have to try that hard to go into the drink in this level,
How am I
Max.
ever gonna get my ball back?
I think this is an instance where like having the exception trigger a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Like we could have a trigger box that's like 5 meters
If it
down.
hits this point, just stop the turn immediately.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious if that will count as inbounds. Nope. Because what I'm standing on... Oh,
Oh, now you've done it.
what I'm standing on should count as a teleport area. So if I just drop it like... Wow.
Kind of working.
I was sure that wasn't gonna work.
What if you like drop it on top of one of these stacks of boxes?
Okay, so that was a little far, but
Hmm.
before it wouldn't have worked if it landed like in here. Oh well, it's not gonna work either. Let's
The
do.
shortest box.
I'm gonna reset the teleport.
So a thing I was thinking is
Hmm.
I think I was thinking interesting. I would have thought it is
Yeah, I would.
are things obstructing it? Like is it objects in between it and the ground?
Yeah, I wonder.
If you're not, because if you're like the collider might have some sorting, right? Like I already collided a thing, so I'm not going to check for the ground.
So this is a teleport area, so that should save it. Yep. This should have a radius that touches a teleport area. And yet it's
You know
not.
what I think it is? My guess is it's 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 handling the first collision and then stopping. Would that make sense, Max?
Maybe? Let me
If
see.
if I were writing the collision system, I wouldn't be looking for
Oh,
everything within radius. Oh, that is kind of small. So forget everything I said.
yeah, why is that so small on this one but not on the other? Because I expected it to be
Maybe
like
it got
there.
overridden in the level.
Let me try this again.
That still seems kind of small, to be honest.
Okay, still small. Let's try 2.5.
That looks about right. Is that? Oh yeah, that's the thing you spawned. Okay, I was gonna say like if you don't set it on the prefab, next time you spawn it, it'll still teleport it out.
It's still... Let me set this a lot bigger. Because
That's
that
I
should
don't think.
definitely do it.
Yeah, I do have this feeling that it's like okay.
Okay, so that worked. That means I would also imagine... I'm gonna reset it here. This should also work now.
For some
Yep.
reason the editor isn't tracking your view anymore. Not a
No,
big deal,
because
but I'll
it's
assume
on
that you.
scene view. Let me
Okay,
switch
okay.
it back over.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I believe you. So now try your cliff experiment again.
Because now... Yeah, see?
But honestly, that's like kind of playable because you can grab it and keep going.
It is, but that also means that if we were to go, like... Let's go to somewhere where it's a little less accessible. Actually, this might not register because it's...
I don't know what you're looking at, sadly.
Oh, right. Na na na. There we go.
Yay.
Yeah, see, I think that's too far away from the wall. Let's try out here. So now I'm curious. I have a feeling it might be big enough that now when it goes in the drink, it'll touch the bridge, perhaps? Yep. Which is okay. That's just the difference between um let's save it there.
No.
Yep. Okay.
I wonder if, like, I know the notifications are not popular, but I think if your ball is like, your ball is just vanishing at the end of your turn, maybe we need to let people know that what happened. It went to the
Like it has
last.
moved.
Yeah, it's been returned to the previous location.
I also saw a weird thing.
Uh-oh.
Yep. It activates the gate when it's like within its trigger range now.
Really? What the?
So, interesting.
The gate, I thought it really fixed the gate so that it would, like, you had to hit both triggers in order for it to.
Well, you do, but the issue now is that if the ball,
Oh, the ball's
if
collider is
this
huge.
range is big enough, it'll touch
Everything.
everything in that range. So
I thought that was a whole new collider.
it's a secondary collider on the bowling ball. So
Uh-huh.
there's now a collider, a sphere collider, which acts as an actual collider, and that there's also a sphere collider that acts as a trigger.
So I'm probably grabbing the wrong one when I'm doing my stuff.
Potentially. And what I could do with that is come through and right now I just have it say, okay, so on trigger enter or on trigger stay, check to see if the trigger was caused by something that has a teleportation area. If so, it is touching a teleport and therefore inbounds. What's likely happening is the gate is checking for a trigger on the ball,
Yeah, or it could even be the ball. I can't remember.
or like anything with maybe it's like a tag of ball or with the name of bowling
Yeah,
ball. And what's happening
putting
is
it
since
putting
this
it on
is
the deck.
technically on that range, it is now part of the bowling ball. So
Yeah.
it is colliding, therefore causing a trigger. So we probably just
Can
need to make the gate check to see. Oh, how would you do that?
don't worry about it for now.
Yeah, I
It's
won't worry
being
too
triggered
much.
by uh out of bounds detector.
If necessary, what I could do is when the ball stops moving, increase the size of the trigger to this size, do a check to see if it's touching anything, and then shrink it back down to the size of the ball. And then that way, this trigger is only as big as it is once the ball stops moving, does its
It could
check,
it
and then
could if
goes
it
back.
bumps into a gate, it would do the same thing though. If like it hits a gate and stops instead of passing through.
Oh yeah, so if if it hit the gate and stopped close to it, that will expand, therefore triggering
I
the gate.
don't know for sure because it
No,
may
that would
like
make sense,
if
though.
it stopped moving, I don't know if it still if a lot of the logic still processes. You know, because like, but
Yeah. That's an interesting one.
right,
Let me give that some thought. I know
unintended consequences.
it's not the task that I'm specifically working on, but it
Yeah,
is.
but unintended consequences,
Yeah.
regressions. Okay, my food alarm went off. I'm gonna wander into the kitchen and fill a bowl of cereal.
Okie doke.
I will be back shortly. Entertain the masses.
Keep chat busy.
Yeah, get some cats on camera. Write some code. Do the Snoopy dance, which is what it looked like Wade was doing when he was trying to debug. Success. I am serial enabled. I lost a flake.
Unmuted. Yep. I'm gonna make a quick call to my mom. She got logged out of the streaming service on her TV, and I just want to get her the login info again. So I'm gonna make that call, but I will be right back on.
Where were we, stream? Sorry, I just realized I was eating cereal in the mic. Okay, Western, connected, got ID. Adding one player from server. And that all seemed to work. Like, but pushing my existing local player number to server. Because player number 1 seemed to get player number 0 / floating text, which means I have to debug this as player number 1 and see what the log does. Easy peasy. But first, I need to eat some cereal. Of course, I was muted. Yeah, we're coming up on 3 hours. It might be close to my limit for game dev. One thing QMD does not do is crunch. Yeah, I gotta finish eating before I run this debug. Sorry, not the most scintillating content. Let it be known that my battery died before I did. That solves that. The headset is telling me it's break time. Isn't full parity, but I should be able to run this in keyboard mode. It's interesting. And this is the mini game, which is entering a room code from here. Uh-oh. Mhm. 6, 6, 6, 6. Join game. Fine. Oh, keyboard mode again. All right, that is pretty much all we needed. So let's see when it decided I was player 0. Player number 1. Oh, this is interesting. That is a weird. That's a weird player number. Got ID this. Model added this. Registering my player number 1. This, I'm suspicious of this. Model added this. That might just be my log is bogus, but so everything seemed fine in the lobby. And then Western. Okay, let's look at everything that happens in Western. Push my session player to server. Interesting. Good, when my session player is good. This seems suspicious. Get added. Push my session players to server. But I don't have any. Oh no, I do. Push mine to server. But then I didn't find my player number. I'm gonna have to fire up the old debugger, and I'd be too tired. And my battery sure is dead. Alright, gang. Time for my high-tech short break script. Ta-da! guess that was about as exciting as anything else that happened this evening. Okay. So, got this. This is right. I should be pushing my players to server, but there should be a player. Lobby. Oh wait, hold on. Lobby, found this. Added. Who added this? Push session players to server. Hello.
Hello.
I ate some cereal. Had a short bio break. Glad Wade missed it.
Just so we didn't have to hear the word bio break.
No, or Wade. Added 0 players found. Available player number. Why does this get added before I register it? Interesting. I mean, I guess it does get added.
I'm going to push the changes I made to the bowling ball script up to main. It's really all I touched, so should be easy.
That is hot. I don't suppose anyone's going to be around tomorrow for a sesh, but we should do make and test a build.
Yeah, let me see. I'm surprisingly open tomorrow. Usually Fridays are busier for me, but I don't really have any set meetings or anything, so maybe in the morning, depending on what everyone else is doing, I could always put together a build at some point between now and tomorrow morning, and we could always try some stuff.
Yeah, I'd be very interested in just like how playable Western is now.
Yeah.
With the traps, right? And what people feel about first look at that.
Theoretically, the traps should work even in Spooky because it is uses the teleportation area. So
interesting.
Should work.
Drop it in and see how it goes. Yeah.
And because everything is tied to the bowling ball, I don't actually have to touch any of the levels to make it work.
Right.
Outside of maybe putting those out of bounds boxes in, but that's kind of an addition that I can make after this. Let me actually.
Yeah, we'll see how this how far this gets us.
Let me make a card for that. That seems like a good one to put in maybe triage.
Could you, if you, while you have that open, could you also throw in the gates being triggered by out of bounds detector?
Definitely.
Thank you. And then it's tracked.
Do you think priority for the out of bounds boxes? I would put that probably pretty low. Because for the most part, everything should work. This just makes it slightly more performant.
Yeah. We don't until it becomes until those exceptions become gameplay issues. They're not. We don't have to look at it, right? So I am. I feel like I'm slowly making progress on what's going on with this issue, but I'm also approaching the end of my stamina.
I get that.
Uh,
I'll have to leave pretty soon anyways to go put the birds away at the farm. They've been out eating grasshoppers all day, and we gotta round them back up. It looks like a storm might be setting in here soon, so
shoot.
I mean, I'm not in any major rush, but probably in the next 10-15 minutes we'll wrap it up.
All right. All right. Let's fix this spam. Added.
No. What build version are we on? 678? I can check GitHub. I even have it pulled open. I'm just being lazy. Yeah, 678.
Oh no. What happened to all my good debug info? Oh, unfiltered. That'll learn me. Did I hit something? What did I do? I'll have to like review the tape to see how I lost all my cool debug infos. That. What did I do? Anyway, one of the exciting things you missed is my headset battery died when I wasn't paying attention,
Oh no.
and it is now. I plugged in the auxiliary battery, but 12% should be good, should be enough to debug. It claims it's plugged in.
I wonder, so
See
I
how
know
this
there's
goes.
like the external battery that like you can connect to the headset and wear while you play and stuff. But I wonder if you could just get like an external battery or maybe like just a wall charger that when you're not actively using the headset, you could plug it in to maintain the battery level. And then when you go to like put it on, just do a quick unplug. So if it sits there for 20-30 minutes, it's maybe not draining charge, but
Yeah, you're so much
maintaining.
smarter than me.
I mean, I often don't worry about it because like I am plugging my headset in and using it through Link, so I'm getting a passive charge while I'm doing stuff. But
I can't stand trying to like do things around that extra cable.
I will say I've lost it one or two times when I go to like put the headset on and the cable catches on my monitor or my keyboard, and I'm like, "This is it. I'm done. That was the last straw."
Rage quit. So here I am, debugging in keyboard mode. This is a whole mini game, Max, that Wade was briefly experiencing today. So you go keyboard mode, everything's fine. I'm gonna go join a room now to do some multiplayer testing. Ready? Oh, I can't get in. Oh, so the mini game is putting in your room code
From the side.
from the doorway. And it's
Is it-
worse if you're like trying to join, like if you're doing multiplayer testing and you have to put in a specific room code. And then you have to find like the clear button and the delete button and stuff like that.
So that's just because the character like capsule is too tall to fit through the doorway by default, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that must be
We
it.
haven't
Because
we've
I've
not
had the
spent a
same
lot of time
issue.
with
If you're standing, you can't always get through that doorway.
look at that beautiful
Beautiful pop-up text.
Yeah. Weed's like, do we have a crouch button? That he did not know that both sessions could use the console. It's pretty cool. You just like alt tab between the windows and the console pops to whichever pops back and forth between sessions. Okay, but what I really cared about here was go to singular player number 1. Oh, that's not my code. Did I forget to click save? I did. Darn it. Okay, Max. Might be it for me.
It's all good. I'm
Save.
finishing up the Trello cards now. I'll just leave those in triage for the time being. But I might pull them over if I end up working on any of those things.
And you pushed your thing? I should rebase before I sign off.
Yeah, I'll double check, but yeah, I pushed it up. Again, it only touched the bowling ball, so pretty isolated. But yeah, it was good to get on. I know I'm going to be out of town all week next week, so it would be nice to maybe do at least a small test session tomorrow if possible, if only just to be around a bit more before I have to do more conference work. Oh joy.
It has been a while since we had a build. Okay, here we go. This is going to be the magic. So, added 1 player to session player list. Successful. This is a bit suspicious. No, everything seems fine. So that is good. But then that doesn't flow to Western. Seems like I should be able to solve that. Okay. But first, I need to do other things. Not that. Would I diff tool everything? Max, you know if there's a way of... Oh no, you don't use command line git.
No, not usually.
I hit
Figure it
GIF
out
tool.
yourself.
I know. I hit GIF tool and I only wanted to do the like .cs's. And it's doing the everything. So now I have to hit escape many times. I don't think there's a way to stop that. I mean, there must be a way to stop that. It must be like... It has sent a list of things to diff tool, so I should be able to... I don't even know. But like, stopping it in PowerShell does not work.
Yeah.
Because it has thrown its array to...
Oh, here,
Yep.
cat cam.
Finally!
Cat cam.
It was worth waiting 3 hours.
Cat cam. Why so blurry?
Cat cam.
She says this is awful. I know you're so upset.
Cat cam.
But we love you.
Cat cam. Cat cam.
My
Cat cam.
one of my best friends just got a new kitten. I'll have to send some pictures in the Discord because it is
Correct.
adorable. His name is Miso.
Aww.
Miso Soup is his full name.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wait, I
course.
almost saw more cat.
Oh, yep.
There's cat. There's still cat.
Let me turn off the blur if I can.
Is that another
There he
cat?
is.
I saw like cat ear in your lap, and then like holy crap, there's
2
there's
cats.
cats everywhere. Cat cam. Cat cam.
This one was being a pain when I was in my virtual therapy today. She was knocking things off my desk. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to be vulnerable, and I'm picking up
Cat is
random
somehow
junk
not
off the
sensitive
floor.
to that.
I think she was just being goofy. Weren't ya? Weren't ya?
She's like, it's not all about you, Max.
Pay attention to me. Why can't I be the center of attention? Yeah, that's her in a nutshell.
Oh, it's so stifling in here. I'm gonna go for a walk in a moment, but first, the magic. What branch am I on? I'm not on main. Let's see.
So
what do I
much
have to
cat
do?
hair all the time.
Stash. Ooh. Max. I'm behind main by 1 commit.
Oh. Better catch
I'm
up.
up to date. I'm up to date. What branch was I on? This thing. Get check out. Get rebase. Get stash apply. And now open up to make sure it still builds. That is a tomorrow problem. All right, Max, I think I'm going to sign out. Any last words to stream?
Thanks for dropping in, stream.
Yeah,
Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button.
No, don't. Oh no, you're a streamer. You're
Too
a
much.
YouTuber.
Join us next time.
Yeah, do that. Do all the things. But wait. Oh wait, I'm not on the thing. We full screened you for cats. Yeah. Chat has been just as poppin' as always.
Love to see you all here. It's been great.
We had one chat. It was us. It was me. I
know it's
posted in the
good
chat.
for us though, you know.
It keeps us humble.
Yeah, keeps
We
me
don't wanna-
accountable, right?
Yeah. So we know that like it's not. It's like being a pro baller. There's all this money, but that's your lifetime income.
Yeah. I mean, if you
those
catch
things
me
are gonna
sitting
last
here
3
just
years.
playing on my phone, you can be like, "Hey, get back to work."
Hey, exactly.
The stream is gonna judge you.
Not every game we make is going to be a massive hit. So our careers could be numbered in months. Speaking of which, because of course because this is the game design / skateboarding channel. I feel bad for pro skateboarders. I was watching this I felt kind of like a mom. But I was watching all these pro boarders kind of like a behind the scenes session at a super sketchy like homemade skate park.
Oh yeah.
And I will send you the link. I should drop the link in chat. Do I know how to do that? I don't know how to do that, but now that I've mentioned it, I have to find it. They're doing stuff that is like their knees are not going to last very long doing that, right? So the professional athletes doing a sport that's very hard on their bodies that they cannot do for very many years, It's like there are some like 30 something pro skateboarders, but it's like it's not normal. They're kind of like
They're the exception to the rule,
it's
not the
and
given.
they've found some sort of like niche revenue
Hmm.
opportunity outside of the traditional thing. But I think pro skateboarders are not like pro football players. We're like pro football players, that's a career, right? You like you play 2.5
Someone
seasons.
pays you to go and play X Games, not the X Games, but to play a certain amount of games every season, and then you get paid like a salary. And I feel like, yeah, like you said,
there's
it's not
there's
quite the same.
sponsorships and the salaries are big enough that like you don't necessarily have to have a career after that one ends. And that one is like and it's maybe a 3-year career, right?
Yeah.
Or something. Um Copy link address. Um I don't think pro skateboarders basically earn a living, you know? It's like they're like living in mom's they're living the dream, but they're living in mom's basement. Um
Yeah. It's much how I imagine the majority of like artists who create like paintings and stuff, unless you're one of the best selling your art for millions of dollars, like you might get enough to get by, but it's hard pressed to say like that is your full-time career, and it's often safer to have either a backup plan or something else that you can do. Because like
it's
you said,
weird.
when you unless you're Tony Hawk, you're probably not going to retire from skateboarding and write off the rest of your life with that money.
But like Tony Hawk when he was like a kid being a pro skateboarder and like in police academy and stuff like that, they were getting paid like hundreds of dollars to do stunts.
Yeah. Hmm.
And the prize money, the competitions is not that great. It's like it's not pro sports the way you know the big money pro sports are
Football,
pro sports.
baseball,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
but
Yeah.
and yet like the demands on the body are like mm,
Pretty insane. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how gymnastics was. I was
mm,
looking at it going like, even if you become an Olympic level athlete, you might get some sponsorships, you might get hosted to go do tournaments, win prize money, whatever. Like it could be your life for a little bit, but you rarely see Olympic gymnasts 10 years later who are like, "Oh yeah, I'm still a gymnast. I'm still doing this," or writing off of
mm,
my life with the money that I made. It's like you're doing it cuz you love it, not because it's a career per se.
yeah, that's true. The thing the, it gymnastics I know is super hard on the body, right?
Mm. Yeah.
um these skateboarders, none of them was wearing an ounce of protective gear, and they were like I sent you
Wow.
the link. The link is on the screen, and
Yeah,
also
yeah.
I dropped it in I dropped it in a Discord direct message for you. But like I was just like holding my breath for like this whole video,
Yeah.
waiting for someone to get airlifted to the hospital. And like no helmets, no knee pads, no wrist guards, no like
It'd be so easy to mess up just a little bit and then never be able to skateboard again.
they and like
Like,
they're professionals. Like they mess up a lot. It's behind the scenes. It's
yeah,
not it's
yeah.
not the makes, it's them figuring out the tricks. They mess up a lot and somehow don't die. But like
Wow.
it's just like I don't understand how they're not always just in the hospital because
Yeah.
like the anyway, if you it's 20-minute video, it's quite long.
Yeah. But
But
yeah, I'm taking glances
pretty
at it and that's
pretty
yeah, it's
early on
wild.
there's some crazy stuff like this. There's like a quarter pipe on top of a quarter pipe, which are they're all like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever, and like going and playing on it. And I'm pretty sure out the other side of it, there's just a bunch of like rebar poking out.
You're
Like,
like, you're just
why
asking
are
for
you
an
even
accident.
going near that?
That's
Why
crazy.
is anyone even going near that? Oh man. And
Wow.
they're up like 12 feet in the air and stuff like that. No helmets, no
Yeah,
knee pads.
that's insane. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you use protective gear. Uh,
I wear my helmet on flat because I hit my head skating on flat.
oh, well,
Like
yeah.
just in a parking lot, just like I did a turn and slid out funny and like my head hit the ground.
If I've learned anything from gymnastics, it was the worst injuries happen from the simplest things, not the craziest things. I mean, obviously you can do crazy things and get hurt, but I saw people twist their ankles or like break something running laps around the floor, not doing crazy stunts. It's like
Yeah.
it's when you let your guard down because it feels so simple and easy, that's when you're likely to get hurt. Because if you're like, oh yeah, I'm just skating on flat ground, I'm not going to crash. Well, what happens when you do crash and you do hit your head? Like that's, you know, wear a
Yeah.
helmet and then that wouldn't be a problem. So, but
On that happy note,
crazy.
that has been. We need a little at the end of every episode of this. We have a little GI Joe.
We should
now,
have
now you know a life lesson.
we should have Sam or someone make a little outro jingle for our streams. So you can just hit the outro jingle and fade to black.
Okay, we'll just.
Just play the volleyball theme song as things like, yeah.
No, you and I just have to improv it.
Oh, get
Good night,
closer to the camera.
stream. Bye.